Goed julle, ons gaan dan aan na die korter transaksionele tekst toe. Eerste enetjie is dan die aanwysings en instruksies. Okay, goed. So aanwysings word gebruik om te sê wat iemand moet doen om iewers by 'n sekere bestemming uit te kom. Aanwysings sal dus altyd op die een of ander beweeg van die een plek na die ander plek impliseer. Byvoorbeeld hoe om van die skool na die huis te beweeg. Okay, so aanwysings is directions. Okay, directions, aanwysings always tells us what someone has to do to get from or get to a certain place. Okay, an end destination. The aanwysings or the directions will then always tell you to get from one or the other place to another place. For example, how to get from school to your house. Instruksies daarteen verduidelik hoe iets stapsgewys moet gebruik word of gedoen word om 'n spesifieke resultaat te kry, byvoorbeeld hoe om 'n lekker toebroodjie te maak. So instruksies are instructions and it explains to us how someone has to go step by step to do something to get a specific result. For example, how to make a nice sandwich. Okay, we're going to start then with the aanwysings. Aanwysings will be something like ry reguit tot by Thabo Mbeki straat, draai links by die KFC, loop totdat jy die groot kerk kry aan jou linkerkant, or whatever the case might be. So, gee rigting aanwysers hoe om by 'n plek uit te kom. So, give directions on how to get there. So, that would be stuff like reguit, draai links, loop tot by, draai regs, those kinds of things. Okay, so there has to be stuff about left or right on those kinds of things in there. Dis baie belangrik om die rigting aanwysings van punt A na punt B te beskryf. Always start where they tell you, point A, and always finish where they tell you, which is obviously going to be point B. Elke instruksie begin gewoonlik, do you see the word gewoonlik? Usually, it is not necessary. Begin gewoonlik met 'n werkwoord of 'n bevelsin or 'n command sentence. For example, draai links by die skool, jy moet by die verkeerslig links draai. We spoke about this in class as well when we did the summaries and when we did the memorandum as well for the May-June 2019 paper. We also said it is not a given that it has to be starting with verbs when we did the tips and tricks and things, which is basically the same as this. So please make sure it doesn't have to start with a verb, but it is much easier if you start with your verb than if you don't start with it. Okay. Dui die chronologiese volgorde puntsgewys aan. So everything has to happen in chronological order, obviously, and it has to be in point form. Verwys na die bakens langs die roete. Bakens are landmarks. And please guys, landmarks will be things like the KFC, like the school, like a church, like a monument or a statue of some kind. Not the big tree or the purple flowers, okay? Because those things can disappear quite easily. Gebruik persoonlike voornaamwoorde in plaas van eie name. So use personal prepositions instead of personal pronouns, sorry, not prepositions. I use personal pronouns instead of proper nouns. So instead of saying, Johan ry reguit verby, you will say, jy ry reguit verby totdat jy. Okay? So we're not going to use names, we're going to use jy en jou of julle of whatever the case might be. Gebruik sinne wat op oorsaak en gevolg dui. So what they mean by this last sentence, use sentences that indicate cause and effect. So draai links by die groot kerk en jy sal 'n oranje huis sien. Okay, so when you turn left at the church, you will see that. So if you do this, then you will see this. If you do this, then you will see that. it's a nice way of indicating to people exactly if they're on the right track. Let's say, for example, I explained to you how to get from Pretoria to the school. Then I will tell you, ry reguit in Polokwane. Aan jou regterkant sal jy 'n groot bord of 'n groot toring sien wat aandui waar Meropa Casino is. As jy verby dit ry, sal jy onderdeur 'n brug ry. So when you drive past the tower indicating where Meropa is, then you will drive underneath a bridge. Ry reguit tot by die tweede stopstraat waar jy 'n moskee aan jou linkerkant sal sien. Drive straight until you find the second robot. There you will see a mosque on your left hand side. Draai links in die draai in en voor jou sal jy I think it's a shell stop or whatever, but you get what I'm saying. So when you drive here, you will get that. When you drive there, you will get that. So cause and effect. It's a nice way of making sure that people are on the right track, because if they've turned left and they don't see what you're saying they should be seeing, they know they're not where they're supposed to be. Goed, instruksies dan aan die ander kant, they say stuff like maak en skryf en lees. So maak die pakkie oop, skryf neer hoeveel goedjies is daarin, lees wat jy moet doen met elkeen, those kinds of things. So elke reël van die instruksie moet begin met 'n werkwoord. Here they say again, begin met 'n werkwoord, so it's not a must again, but it is easier to do that. Okay? En dit moet aandui hoe jy te werk gaan om iets te doen. For example, sny 4 stukkies brood in ewe dik snye. So, let's say I'm telling you to fry an egg, om 'n eier te bak. Eers gaan jy sê, haal die pan uit die kas uit en sit hom op die stoof. So, take the pan out of the cupboard and put it on the stove. Verhit die pan tot 'n hoë temperatuur, so heat the pan to a high temperature. You can go further by saying, sit die plaat op nommer 6, of draai die knop om die plaat op nommer 6 te kry, turn the knob until it indicates that the plate is on heat level 6. Gooi olie in die pan, throw oil in the pan. You can further explain by saying, nie te veel olie nie, of 'n klein bietjie olie, of 'n dun laagie olie. Then you can talk about the eggs. Again, be careful of instructions and tips. For example, you can say, haal die eiers uit die yskas uit, sodat dit by kamertemperatuur kom. So take out the eggs from the fridge so that it gets to room temperature. Instead of saying, haal die eiers uit, and then in the next line you say, eiers by kamertemperatuur bak vinniger. That is not an instruction, that is a tip. Okay, so you can merge your tip with your instruction, but don't keep your tip as a separate thing. Okay, dan kan jy vir my sê, breek die eier, break the egg, but together with that you want to explain the best way to do that. So you can say, breek die eier met die stompkant van 'n mes. So break the egg with the blunt side of a knife, or whatever the case might be. So do you see what I mean when I say it's easier if you stick to starting with the verb rather than doing your own thing? Because if you do your own thing without the verb, then you might end up giving a hint instead of an instruction. And we're asking for instructions en nie wenke nie. Alright, if there's any questions, please feel free to contact me so we can discuss this further. Okay, sterkte julle.